Hi, welcome to Lachlan Likes a Thing, a show where I take a thing and see whether or not I like it. Now the thing we're looking at in this video is the Beats by Dr. Dre Mixr portable on-ear headphones. Now for those of you who've been watching my videos for some time, you might be a bit surprised to see me reviewing a Beats product, considering that the company is not exactly fantastically well known for sound quality. I think it's important to be aware that Beats as a company has a 64% market share of the premium headphone category. And, the company was able to single-handedly demonstrate that the average consumer was willing to put down quite a lot of money for portable headphones. So I think if you're going to have an informed and an open opinion on, the state of the headphone market as it is today, you can't really just ignore or kind of mindlessly bash a brand that, over half of consumers are buying when they go out to buy a pair of fancy headphones. And you can't really judge it from a 1-minute store demo either. So with that in mind, I bought a pair of these, the Beats Mixers. These are my first Beats headphones. And I got these because, for one thing, they're relatively subtle in terms of design. And the other thing is that the reviews that have been floating around that I've read on the internet have been relatively positive in terms of sound quality for these headphones. So I've had these for about a month now, and actually I've been a little bit surprised. First of all, build quality for the Beats Mixers is pretty impressive. These are meant to be a DJ headphone, and for the money you get a mixture of metals and plastics that feels really solid, feels really durable. It actually feels better than the virtually all plastic Sony MDR1R, though it's not quite as nice in terms of fit and finish as something like the Sennheiser Momentum. As I said, I think these are relatively subtle in terms of their design. They come in a number of different colors now, and they have a number of design features which I think are worth a closer look. So with the mixers, the cables are detachable and you get two headphone cables. You get a coiled DJ style cable and you get a normal straight cable with an iPhone remote. Now what's cool about this cable is that you can actually attach it to either side, either ear cup, because there's jacks on both. And what's cool about the jack is that it's not recessed in any way. It's a standard 3.5mm jack. So if you break the cable, you can pretty much replace it with any off-the-shelf 3.5mm cable. So that's really cool. The other nice thing about the mixers is that the ear cups swivel up, so you can fold it all up into this nice little compact shape. Because the ear cups swivel up individually, you can actually do neat little things like wear the headphone on one side of your head, which again, I suppose is useful if you're a DJ. Now this actually brings me to my biggest complaint about the Beats Mixers, which is that they're just not very comfortable at all. The clamping force on the mixers is very, very high, and the ear pads, even though they're quite soft and supple, they're not very thick. So you can actually feel parts of the headphone frame just pressing right on top of your ear with quite a lot of force. Again, I suppose if you're a DJ, this is a good thing because the headphones are secure on your head and there's a lot of external noise isolation. But personally for me, especially because I wear glasses, I just find them really uncomfortable. I can wear them for about an hour before I have to take them off because my ears start getting sore. Now, supposedly the mixers were designed in collaboration with David Guetta, and I don't know if Guetta's head is especially tiny or something, but I just found these uncomfortable, and if you are interested in them, I do recommend you try them on first and just make sure that you're not going to find them too uncomfortable. This is actually really surprising to me that these are so uncomfortable, because I would have thought that Beats would have nailed it as far as comfort was concerned for the average consumer. And I really don't think that this headphone, which given the design and the retail availability, they really intended only to be sold to DJs. So if my biggest complaint is about the comfort of the mixers, then does that mean I don't have any complaints about the sound? Well, actually, kind of. I actually think that the mixers sound decent for the price. They definitely do have a bassy and warm tone, but not in a way that sounds just so bassy that they sound bloated or overblown. They actually have quite a lot of energy in the mids and the vocals. And actually my one issue with the mixers is that at times this energy is just too aggressive. they can sound at higher volumes quite indistinct and splashy. The vocals get too aggressive. Now, to me, I think that's actually preferable to a headphone that actually sounds too bassy, but there's not much treble, so it ends up sounding dull. Something like the Skullcandy Navigator or the Logitech UE4000 sound like that. In comparison, I think the Mixrs with their aggressive tone actually work quite well with a lot of music. Funnily enough, I enjoyed them more with slower acoustic tracks than I did with the electronic or dance tracks that supposedly these headphones were designed for. Now, of course, the Mixrs are a relatively expensive headphone, and while I think that the build quality and the sound quality are about right for the price, I really find comfort to be a huge issue with these headphones. Now, if I was looking for a bassy pair of headphones, I would personally prefer the Sennheiser Momentums or the Audio-Technica ES10. Now, I think that both of these headphones are awesome looking headphones. They have a bit of a smoother sound than the Mixrs. They have a bit more of a defined sound, while they still have quite a lot of bass. So I would prefer these if you're looking for a bassy headphone. And I actually have reviews up of both of these headphones, so check them out on my channel if these look good to you. Now, if you're after a nice looking pair of headphones with a bit more of a flatter or a bit more of a neutral sound, then these are the Audio-Technica ES700s, which Audio-Technica Australia has very kindly loaned me for review. I'll have a review up of these soon, but I can tell you they're very nice headphones, so if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and you'll be updated when that review is uploaded. Back to the Mixrs though, if you love the look of these headphones, or you had to get headphones for someone who just has to have Beats, I actually think these aren't too bad in terms of sound quality. Just make sure you try them on first so you know how comfort is going to work for you. Anyway, I have a Facebook page now where I've started posting music links and early impressions of the gear that I'm reviewing. So if you want to have a chat with me, just head on over to facebook.com/LachlanLikesAthing. You can also tweet at me at Twitter at LochLikesAthing. And thanks to everyone who's liked my videos and subscribed to my channel, and happy listening.